The thing is, it needs a committee to run, organise and do all these different things that members do want. So what we want are a few more members to support the committee. We already have a few volunteers who have said they will continue for this year, which is really good news for me. But the actual nitty-gritty is to organise the workshops, the flower show. We only have 4 out of 7. So if we can get 2 or 3 more committed members, it will be even better. But it won't fold because we have enough members. What we would like is tomorrow at 5 o'clock at John Mackintosh Hall, as many members or even non-members who would be interested in joining. After all, it's only £15 a year, and once you're in, all the workshops and everything we do is basically for free. We want to focus also with the youth of Gibraltar. So we have, for £5, youth members. Give us all a shock, turn up tomorrow, and that'll be great.
Now, you mentioned the younger generation. As you mentioned, there are children that come here and join gardening club. But what about those who are a little bit older, the young adults maybe? How could you potentially get them involved with it? What do you think you could be doing differently to involve them?
Influence from grandparents and parents is quite something amongst children of that age. Some, in fact, steer the parents because they really are interested. But there aren't too many because the culture in Gibraltar is not sort of horticultural gardening based, and that's what we're trying to do, to get a new chip in, to get the youth, the young people, the schools, the teachers, the helpers, the parents who help at school, get this going. A lot of schools have their spaces. In fact, St. Martin's, the new school, has a lovely space up there. I've already been there. They're very keen to get the children involved. But like that, many other schools, it's a question of, in some instances, the curriculum dominates, and sometimes it's not so easy, especially with the older ones you're referring to, GCSEs, A-level, and being a teenager, it's not easy.
Well, why would you say work of this nature is something that should be perhaps included a little bit more in curriculums?
The reason for doing this is to make people aware that without plants we don't exist. It's not just for food, it's to aerate, to clean. In fact, there are some plants in hotels, in corridors, that clean the area, makes it healthier. But on the other side, those involved find a calmer, a peace of mind, a relaxation. And if you don't try, you'll never find out.
You mentioned society's chip and that needing to change a little bit. The flower show was one of the biggest events in the social calendar just a few years ago. So what do you think has changed amongst society?
Okay. The flower show would have probably happened if it hadn't been for the coronavirus, COVID-19. But it doesn't matter how big it is. If you want to do some gardening, you don't need a garden. You know, a shelf, a windowsill, and hey presto, you buy your plant. Don't overwater it because you'll just kill it. Feed it. You can even talk to it on the quiet. But the thing in Gibraltar is they don't look after them, so they throw it away and buy a new one, which is fine. But what I want to know is that you don't have to throw it away. You can get cuttings, and from one you can actually produce 20 without having to spend a penny. Not because you want to save money, it's because you want to get involved in horticulture, in gardening, in the enjoyment of growing your own stuff. That's what we're after.